Hey guys, how you all doing? I hope you're doing great. So recently, I released an a cappella version of my cover of Stains of Time. The reason is because I done bonked my thumb and made it ouch. And I did get a couple of comments that were curious about what it would sound like without all of the processing, because what on earth about this sounds a cappella to you? And of course, there are some tonal qualities where you can kind of tell that a voice was used to make these sounds, and I thought I would take this opportunity to break down what exactly I've done. I did do a video on this before, breaking down how I did my a cappella version of the anime intros that I wrote, but I'm sure most of you never actually watched those. So for starters, why don't we just strip all of the tracks? Let's just get rid of absolutely every effect that's on there, including EQ and compression, just super raw, unmixed. Oh, that's harsh. Yeah, so now you can definitely tell, yeah, that is a cappella, isn't it? Those are voices. That's my voice. And of course, you probably still hear what most of you recognize as auto-tune. For instance, on my lead guitar thing right here, let's solo that. That's really quiet because it's not in the amp model anymore. So as you can see, the lead guitar, this here is my waves tune, and I have everything flat lined, dragged to the arpeggio that sweep is on. But when I get rid of it, it still sounds pretty digital, right? I also have it pitch shifted up. This is where I actually recorded it. So I'll tell you exactly what I did. So I recorded this. See, the BPM is 200 down here. The BPM is 200. I slowed it down to a quarter, which is 50. And that's the speed that I recorded it at. Pleasant, I know. Absolutely pleasant. And then I sped that up, so it sounded like this. And then, of course, I pitch corrected it. Pitched it up an octave to be in the register that the sweep actually is. And then, in our mix window here on the lead guitar, so for starters, we have our EQ. It just cuts out any of the low frequencies that are unpleasant in a voice, and I don't actually want those going through my amp model, which we're going to get to. Then I compress my signal, so everything hits nice and even. Then we get into what makes it sound like a guitar. We actually put a guitar amp mod on here. Sudden change in volume warning, probably. This is going to be a little bit louder now that there's an amp model on there. And then the rest of everything is just for color. We got our delay and our reverb. Let's go ahead and jump over to percussion. Let's show you over here, huh? Now, contrary to how I presented it in the video, this is not genuine beatboxing, although I can beatbox if I want to. Since I wanted it to be more like a drum set or drum machine at the very least, I decided to have one good, and just copy and paste that over and over again and program it. Now let's focus on these guys and give them their effects back. And I use a gate, so I can gate everything out to this channel over here. All of these are bussed out to this master channel, which has drum samples on it. Blending in with the original track. The hi-hat and crash, quote unquote, are exactly what they sound like. Not hard to imagine what's going on there. All right, moving on to bass. Once again, I have my flat line pitch and everything in waves tune. And now, what the heck am I doing with that? Of course, I am not a bass, I am very tenor. We start by dropping the pitch. EQ it, compress it, amp model! And then post-amp stuff. Here is a multi-band compressor, it's just Reaper stock. You can see the waveform here. I want the bass to be really tight, so I do come down on this hill over here a little bit. This is a compressor just like this, except it works on specific frequencies. And then I add my limiter, and that's bass. So let's talk about rhythms. And once again, of course, we have our flatline pitches. There's nothing abnormal there, but when we turn everything back on, how on earth do I get from this to this? Pretty gritty, right? The guitar is pretty low, lower than I can sing because have you heard my voice? So I start by dropping the pitch an octave. When it comes to rhythm guitar and rock music, you play with power chords a lot. Power chords are usually just a fifth, so I took another pitch shifter and blended it with the original a fifth up. Amp model. And I do bust those rhythms out to the same channel and do a little extra work on the end. Nothing terribly important, just coloring it up. We already talked about lead guitar. As for vocals, and it will not let up until the end is here, and it will come through the darkest day. There's nothing particularly interesting about how I recorded the vocals. It's just how I record vocals, man. And it will come like a flood of pain. And yeah, that is how I made my a cappella version of Stains of Time sound very metal-like. If you enjoy this kind of video, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment, and maybe hit that subscribe button for more from me in the future. I don't make these type of videos very often, as I do just like to make the covers. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you guys another time. Be sure to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.